This is one server. It is having a very bad day. 100,000 people came at the same time. They all send requests to this one server. The server gets too busy. The page stops loading. Then it crashes. And all these users leave. This is what system design is about. So how do the big apps stay up? Here is the secret. Every big app Netflix, Uber, Instagram, started the same simple way. Just one server and one database. You go from this tiny setup to 100 million users with just 6 steps. Each step fixes one problem right when it happens. You do not memorize a diagram. You fix one thing at a time. So let's build one. Meet Maya. She just made a photo sharing app. We will grow Maya's app step by step from one server to 100 million users. We add each new part only when the app really needs it. By the end, a question like Design Instagram will feel easy because you will have already built it. Let's go. Day 1. 12 users, mostly Maya's friends. Users on the left. One server in the middle. One database on the right. A user sends a request. The server reads the database and sends an answer back. That is the whole app. And for her first few thousand users, this simple setup works great. And do not add anything yet. Many apps build for 1 billion users too early and fail while they are still small. Add a new part only when a real problem forces you to. So let's break it. Until the day the app gets popular. Maya shares her app online and it becomes number 1. 200,000 people open it in 1 hour. All those requests hit that one small server. The server gets too busy. Requests wait in a line. The page just spins and users leave. This is the first problem. One server can only do so much. There are 2 ways to fix this. 1. Buy a bigger server. But a server can only get so big and it costs a lot. 2. Run more servers. Each one is a copy. This way can grow forever. So we pick this one. But this fix makes a new problem. We have 5 servers now. When a request comes in, which server should take it? We need something in front to direct traffic. It is called a load balancer. It shares the requests across all the servers. And if one server dies, it just skips it. The app works again. Maya can relax. Now it can take more traffic and keep running if a server fails. There is a full video on load balancers, gateways and proxies. But this is what it does here. One problem solved. Months later, people start asking, why is the app so slow now? Here is what is happening. 10,000 people open the home page. And everyone asks the database the same thing. What is popular right now? The answer is almost always the same, but the database works it out 10,000 times. That is a lot of wasted work. Now the database is too slow. So don't do that. Work out the answer once and then remember it. Keep it in a small, very fast box in front of the database. This is called a cache. Its name is Redis. If a request finds its answer in the cache, it never touches the database. And just like that, most of the work goes away. But some requests still reach the database, like find this one user. To do that, it checks millions of rows to find just one. Give it an index. An index jumps straight to the row you need. Now the slow request is fast, and people stop complaining. A cache to skip the database. An index to make the database fast. 2 more parts added. Now the next problem, and this one is easy to miss. A message from Tokyo. I love the app, but here it takes 8 seconds to load. Maya's users are all over the world now. But her servers are only in one place, in America. So every photo and file has to travel across the ocean and back. That is slow, and her code is not the problem. The fix: keep copies of the big files like images and video on servers in many cities. This is called a CDN. It stands for Content Delivery Network, and it keeps your files close to every user. Now a user in Tokyo loads from a server in Tokyo. It takes milliseconds, not seconds. Now it is fast everywhere, even Tokyo. And Maya's servers do less work. Now the next problem, and this one is easy to miss. Someone signs up for Maya's app. Behind that one click, the app does a lot. Send a welcome email, resize their photo, save some data, and more. And right now, the user waits for all of it. They stare at a loading spinner for 5 whole seconds, for a button that should feel instant. But think, does the email need to send before the page loads? No. So put that slow work in a queue and answer the user right away. The server just adds the job to the line and moves on. Then other servers, called workers, take jobs from the queue and do them later. Now Maya's users get a fast answer, and the slow work happens in the background. Producer, queue, worker. Every big system uses these 3. 4 problems solved. But there is one more. The 5th one is the hardest, even for big companies like Netflix. And it is coming right now. Maya's app is huge now. Even with the cache and indexes, the database itself is full. Too much data and too many writes for one machine. The one part that everything needs is now too slow. First step: stop making one database do everything. Make copies. One main database takes the writes. A few copies, called replicas, handle the reads. And since apps read much more than they write, the work spreads out. But what if the data is too big for one machine? Then split it. This is called sharding. Put names A to M on one database and N to Z on another. Each shard holds one part of the data, so no single machine holds everything. Sharding is powerful but hard. Getting data from many shards is tricky, and moving data around is very hard. That is why it is the last step. Only shard when you really have to. So step back and look at what Maya's app became. From 12 friends to 100 million users. This is a real system design. And nobody planned all of it on day one. She built it one problem at a time. And so did you. Users get files from a CDN. Everything else goes through a load balancer to many servers. The servers check the cache first. Then the database with its index, which has replicas and shards. And slow work goes to a queue for the workers. None of it was magic. Each part solved one problem. And that is the whole skill. You do not memorize the diagram. You just know which problem each part solves. So you can build it yourself in an interview. Now the payoff. You just watched Maya's app grow from 12 users to 100 million. So when someone asks you, design Instagram, most people freeze and start drawing random boxes. But not you. You ask one question: how many users? And then you follow the same steps Maya did. Start simple. User, server, database. Too much traffic? Add a load balancer and more servers. Reads are slow? Add a cache and indexes. Users all over the world? Add a CDN. Slow background work? Add a queue and workers. Database too big? Add replicas and sharding. You did not memorize a design. You built it, one problem and one fix at a time. That is not a beginner answer. That is what a senior engineer does. Here is the whole thing quickly. Start with one server and one database. Add a load balancer and more servers for traffic. Add a cache and indexes for slow reads. Add a CDN for users around the world. Add a queue and workers for slow background work. Add replicas and sharding when one database is not enough. 6 problems, 6 steps. That is system design. It is not magic. You just know which part solves which problem. Each part has its own deep dive video on this channel. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.